Hey, you guys. It's me. Hope you're having a good day. You haven't seen me in a while. I made a lot of videos, but haven't posted any of them. I can't go into my personal life because it's just too shitty to go into. Maybe my life won't be shitty and I won't have to lie to you. I'm having a hard time keeping my mouth shut. I don't know how you're seeing me. I don't know if I'm in the shot or not because I've got this on a ladder inside this home. The person holding this microphone is James Klug. James Klug, I would consider to be one of those people that have no genitals. What are they called? Anyway, James Klug has no genitals. He goes out to Portland, California, and he interviews lefties. He'll let these old gray hairs and blue hairs like this elderly woman here just run all over him in conversation. Do you think he's going to make a point? No, he never does. He'll say something. He might rarely say something about, a study somewhere. But he just lets them have the talking point. They shout him down. And then he walks around and gives this little laugh. How is this fucking idiot? How did he get in the White House? When did America start respecting these guys with no balls? James Klug, I've seen bigger balls on my freaking grandson than James Klug. Lefties will come up. He's trying to talk to somebody. Lefties will come up. Little old ladies will come up and get in his face. And he'll just shy away like, oh God, oh God, oh God. I mean, he just interviewed on the same one. This is his recent one. It infuriates me. I get physically ill listening to his dumb shit. He was sitting there talking to an elderly lefty because most of them are elderly because they're getting paid to protest. And this guy's like, well, tell me where Antifa is. Is there a website or someplace I can go to Antifa? James Klug is so goddamn stupid and so ballless. He couldn't just pull his phone out and show every freaking location of Antifa. Now, they showed it on the video. They put Rose City Antifa and Chicago Antifa and all the Antifa centers. He showed that on there. But he always goes with nothing. He shows nothing. So what's the point? James Klug can walk up into their little atmosphere and listen to what the lefties say. We know what they say. They're insane. So what are you doing, James? Well, I'm just documenting them being crazy. What the fuck? You're letting them walk away from a conversation thinking they're right. In other words, you are endorsing what they're saying by remaining silent. I'm 50 years old. What happened to men? I was talking to someone earlier, and I said, this country is so gone. Mediocre men can have a job for 30 goddamn years because they ain't got the guts to stand up and speak out. They don't have the guts to speak out and do what it takes to make something correct, make something better, make something more efficient. They just shut their mouths and go along with the goddamn show. They ain't got the balls to speak up and say what's on your mind. So I'll let you see James Klug and show his interview style. Where he just let somebody say something and he'll just come back real politely.
Of time, like since after the First World War, they've been treated poorly, they've had no rights, if they try to like organize unions or even just say, hey, I need a day off, they can be threatened with deportation. Their housing is completely dependent on their job. It's just a really bad situation. So for me, this is just the same, only more so.
You mind if I add? I mean, I've thought about that argument a lot. There's like 2.6 million on-farm workers in the United States. Not all are illegal, obviously, but over like the last 4 years,
huge number of them
but over the last 4 years, we brought in like 10 million people into the country legally, and there's already 10 plus million. So why do we need?
What work are they doing?
Do you think that exploiting cheap illegal labor on farms is a good reason for unfettered mass migration? Honest question.
Okay, I'm gonna get way radical on you and say what I really think.
Go for it.
I think in 500 years, people will look back at the idea of national boundaries and say, what were they thinking? They'll look back on it like we look back on serf labor, where you had to have the permission of your liege to move around.
Right.
And I just think that...
I don't think you're alone in that when it comes to somebody that...
Did you hear the ballless one? He has no testicles. This little old lady saying, oh, poor borders, aliens, farm workers, pick crops. Oh, and he just shrugs his head and looks to the ground, stares at the ground like a little half man. I mean, what's that song from the 90s? I'm half the man I used to be. This is James Klug. This is why the right is losing. They're a bunch of fucking pussies. James Klug, he's a vagina. No, even worse, you know what he is? You know what James Klug is? He's this worthless piece of skin around a vagina. This is outrageous. Nothing. He accomplishes nothing. But he got in the White House. How did he get in the White House? Because he's a yes man. Like Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson, his channel blew up under Donald Trump because he said nothing wrong about Donald Trump. He will never go against Donald Trump. He'll never call balls and strikes. He'll never say the way it is. And then it comes out, Milo Yiannopoulos said last week on Timcast, Tim Cass has lost his mind. Why did Tim Pool lose his mind? Well, he had the little talk with Benjamin Netanyahu. That's what cost him his mind. But Milo said that Benny Johnson is a closet homosexual, and every one of those student action summits for Turning Point USA that Benny was upstairs in a hotel room banging young interns and his wife was downstairs crying. The conservative right in America has been taken over by a bunch of homosexuals. There are no men left. None. This is a man. In 2025, James Klug is a man. In 2025, eunuch. That's the word I was looking for. Eunuch. Listen to him fight back.
That's on the left. I think that's kind of an idea that a lot of people on the left would actually agree with. Is this idea of borders is completely outdated. I think the only issue that flies in the face of that is the reality of budgeting and community and safety. What do you think?
I think we spend a lot of money on borders that we could be spending on community and safety and security. That's what I think.
Well, why do you think we spend money on borders?
Huh?
Why do you think we spend money on borders?
Because borders protect resources.
And people, right? People?
No, well, let me tell you, if a bad guy wants to go over the border, the bad guy's going to go over the border. It doesn't matter.
But can you make it harder for them?
No.
I'm Christian Church Disciples of Christ.
Okay, that's fine. And basically,
ballless. He's ballless. This is where the argument goes, man. How much when you were working? How much were you making an hour? Oh, you work in healthcare. You're making what, $25, $30 an hour? Okay, ma'am. Or she said she's an educator, which was either a nurse or an educator. Anyway, a farm education or farm nurse. I think she said. I would say this, ma'am. The people that work at the restaurants, the bars, the people mowing your grass, the plumbers, the electricians, the guy working on cars. Did you know that those men would probably making twice the amount of money per hour they are now if illegal aliens were here depressing the wages? Because see, this is why because on the left has more billionaires supporting them. Why? Because it's very unlikely that an illegal alien from Tijuana is walking up into Elon Musk's Tesla and going for the top job. It's very unlikely that an illegal alien from Honduras is walking up into Citibank and taking one of those big execs' jobs. It's very unlikely, okay? But people like me are in this country who's worked with his hands his whole life. They're taking our jobs. Doesn't matter how good a job I do. It's a matter whoever gets paid the least. So when the government's subsidizing your employment, I cannot compete with you. I was doing with my landscape company. I had, I think it was 8 to 10 Advance Auto Parts, just like the whole county. And when I started, it was $300 a month. That's just come every week, mow the grass, blow the entire parking lot. Not a piece of sand was on the parking lot. I did the best cleanup of anybody. No cigarette butts, no nothing. Perfectly clean, cut the bushes trimmed, kept the mulch down, sprayed the weeds. I mean, the places were immaculate. I mean, I did it like I'd do a multi-millionaire's house. And then I come back about 3 months in. This is when the invasion was going on. Before, pre-Biden invasion. Well, the guys next door are doing it a lot cheaper than you are. Can you do it for $200 a month and just come 3 times a month? I said, man, it's gonna cut into me. It's gonna cut. I said, but to keep your business, I'll do it. So now I'm doing it, and I'm deciding which week not to come. So I got to watch the grass. If it's grown less this week, we'll do it. If it's really tall this week, we'll mow it. And then it got to the point they're like, oh, man, times are tight. Do you think you could just do it every other week? I was like, man, that's more wear and tear. Well, we really can't afford it. The guys over here are paying, they're paying $100 a month. But if we'll keep you on if you do it for $150. I said $75 each time. That's 2 men for 45 minutes to an hour to do each place. I said, man, I can't make any money like it. Well, but they're doing it for that over here. I said, listen, I said, I'll try it, but I don't know how long because I have to work twice as hard. That's twice as much work that's going to be required, and it's going to take me more time to do it. So I took it on. Couldn't do it. Grass was too tall. The trash was too much. The weeds were growing twice as much because you didn't stay on it every day. I mean, it's just nonstop, and the illegals come right in and they'll do it for $10 an hour. What? You see, in the lawn care business, these people like illegals, and I used to compete with furniture workers. Furniture factory workers would get laid off because NAFTA shipped their jobs overseas. So what they do is they collect unemployment, and then they can come mow grass. They had a lawnmower at the house, so they go out and mow grass. And hey, man, I'm mowing that grass. It takes me an hour to mow it. That's $10 an hour cash money. Now, they're not making that by the wear and tear on their lawnmower and putting gas in, but in their minds, I'm making $10 an hour. Why? Because they were being subsidized by unemployment. Well, with illegal aliens, they're being subsidized. Donald Trump said a figure the other week that for every illegal alien making $30,000 a year, they get $50,000 worth of benefits from the government. You add on to the $50,000 of benefits when you put 10 people in one home. Their bills went from $500 a month because the government's funding most of it down to $25 a month. And then they're buying a new car and a new car, and they'll all buy and pay that car off, and then they'll all buy and pay the next car off, and they'll all buy and pay the next car off. And at the same time they're buying all these vehicles out, they're starting another business. And then instead of working for someone else, now they can employ all their friends, and the government's paying for all of it. You're paying for all of it. But James Klug, the man with no testicles, it's going to go out in an interview leftist. Good luck, James. Good luck.